أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد الفاتح الخاتم وعلى آله حق قدر العظيم. السلام عليكم. Good afternoon, everyone. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, all praises are due to the Almighty Allah, the Lord of the universe, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the sovereign of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and from you alone we implore help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those whom you have favored, neither of those who have incurred your wrath, nor of those who have gone astray. O Allah, maintain your prayers persistently upon our chief and master Muhammad, the key to that which is closed, the seal to that which is past, the upholder of the truth by the means of truth, the proper guide to your straight path, and upon his family according to his eminence and his great honor. Assalamu alaikum once again. Good afternoon, everyone. I am back on my series of lectures on the topic, the divine mandate. If you can remember, in the last session, having established that the Almighty Allah being the supreme being, the supreme God that created the universe and who possessed the right to define the way and manner the universe should be run, how the universe should be administered, and he possessed the dominions of the heavens and the earth. And he dispatched prophets one after another for them to come and speak on his behalf and convey messages to their respective nations, starting from Prophet Adam down to the last and the seal of all the prophets, that's Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Let's analyze the history, or rather the stories of those prophets in the Holy Quran, how they were cited and how they conveyed the messages with which they were sent, and how they used the mandate they were conferred with by the Almighty Allah. That's how they exercised their mandate in delivering the messages. And first and foremost, Prophet Adam happened to be the first to be sent down to the earth so as to serve as the representative of the Almighty Allah. The Almighty said, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Wa iz qala rabbuka lil malaikati inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. Qalu ataj'alu fiha man yufsidu fiha wa yasfiku ad-dima'a wa nahnu nusabbihu bihamdika wa nuqaddisu lak. Qala inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun." The Almighty Allah said, "Call to remembrance when your Lord addressed the angels, saying that I am about to assign a representative of mine on the surface of the earth." Angels replied, "Would you rather appoint someone who would commit massive bloodshed, that would commit corruption and massive bloodshed? Because here we are, our job is to give glory to your names and glorify you, O our Lord." Meaning that we are not, by their response, they did not mean to correct or rather to question the divine decision. They rather wanted to express how they look at the issue, how they analyze the prospective representative of the Almighty Allah. That is the person proposed to be the representative of the Almighty Allah. They analyzed the elements with which he was created. And as soon as as Prophet Adam was created, they were asked to fall down in prostration to him, and they did, with the exception of the devil, who was later cursed and sent away. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ اللَّعْنَةَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ فَاخْرُجْ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Go out, you are hereby thrown away. From now on, you'll be far away from the divine mercy. That is regime. That means he is being thrown away, thrown out of the divine mercy. And my curse will be laid on you up to the day of resurrection. And then Adam was taken to paradise along with his wife Eve. Yet they were warned, as soon as they were taken into the paradise, they were warned against a particular tree, that they shouldn't approach that tree, let alone eating its fruits. And as the Almighty would have it, because he predestined that they will serve the purpose of their creation here on earth, not in the paradise. Their sojourn in the paradise was meant to be a test. They were only taken there for a test, so that they will be tested, their weakness will be exposed to that is their weakness to the machinations of the devil, that they couldn't stand the machination of the devil, the devilish machination. That is why they forgot. وَلَقَدْ عَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ آدَمَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَنَسِيَ وَلَمْ نَجِدْ لَهُ عَزْمًا. The Almighty Allah said, we have taken a covenant with Adam, yet he forgot. He forgot to live up to the terms of that covenant. So we couldn't find him very firm and resolute when it comes to standing the taste of the devilish machination of Iblis. It is from this verse, scholars of Tawheed along with scholars of Tafsir came to unanimity that Adam was not included in Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul, because Almighty Allah said, وَلَمْ نَجِدْ لَهُ azma. So that means he was excluded from Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul. فَاسْبِرْ كَمَا صَبَرَ Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul وَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلْ لَهُ. Our Prophet of God, exercise patience with regard to the machinations of the Meccan pagans. So exercise patience in the same way your predecessors among the people of firmness, Ulul Azmi, did exercise patience. In the same way they exercised patience. So, and that is why after this test that exposed the human weakness, not Adam as a prophet, rather as a human being. And of course, you can excuse him, because after all, the devil swore in the name of Allah that he is there to give them a very good advice. Despite the fact they were forewarned against the devil, that he is their sworn enemy. That the devil is their sworn enemy. Yet they forgot. وَقَاسَمَهُمَا إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاسِينَ. The devil swore to them, to both Adam and his wife, that he is there in the paradise to give them a very good advice. إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاسِينَ. I am here to give you a very nice advice. فَدَلَّهُمَا بِغُرُورٍ. And that was how they were deceived by the devil. And they were consequently sent down here to the earth, because that was principally the purpose for which they were created, so that they will come here to the earth and procreate, so that they will come and populate the earth with human beings. The Almighty Allah said in the opening verses of the chapter Surah Nisa, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. صدق الله العظيم. The Almighty Allah said, "O you humankind, ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum." Fear the Lord, fear your Lord, the one that created you. Min nafsin wahida, who created you from one and single soul. Wa khalaqa minha zawjaha, and he created from that soul its own mate, its own partner, its own spouse. وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. And from that couple, that is the couple consisted of Adam and his wife Eve, from that particular couple, the Almighty Allah brought out a large population of men and women. كثيرا ونساء. So you can see, for them to exercise their mandate, for them to prove the purpose for which they were created, they were bound to come to the earth rather than living in the paradise. Paradise was not meant to be a living abode for those who have never worked for it. They were only taken there for a test. That means that if one is not brought here to the earth for a test, and then he passed the test, he wouldn't be eligible to be among those that will abide in paradise. Why? Because paradise is meant to be a reward. Of course, no amount of devotion will earn you the right to be among the dwellers of paradise. Only the mercy, the grace, the special grace and mercy of the Almighty Allah. And this is in line with the tradition of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, where he said, لَن يُرْكِلَ الْجَنَّةَ أَحَدًا عَمَلُهُ قَالُوا وَلَا أَنْتَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ قَالَ وَلَا أَنَا إِلَّا أَنْ يَتَغَمَّدَنِي اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ. None of you, in fact, there is no human being, no creature will go into paradise by merit, by the virtue of his righteous deeds. No. No one whose righteous deeds can earn him the right to be among the dwellers of paradise. No one. The companion said, even you, O our dear Prophet? He said, even I, even me. إِلَّا أَنْ يَتَغَمَّدَنِي اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ, except if the Almighty Allah decides to shroud me with his special mercy. Can you see? He, as the mercy to the entire kingdom of creation, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have never sent you except for the purpose that you will be a mercy to the entire universe. He is the mercy to everything other than the Almighty Allah. Yet he said he needs a special mercy which the Almighty will shroud him for him to go to paradise, so as to show us that no one deserves anything from the Almighty Allah. Whatever we get, it is just a mere grace, a mere divine grace, and no more. So, and that was how, after the test, the devil lured them into believing him and consequently eating the fruits of that forbidden tree. And at the end of the day, this led to their expulsion from paradise, and they were sent down here to the earth. And they were sent down to the earth. So, having been sent down here, The angel Gabriel, was sent to outline to them the nature of their job here and how would they live, because they came out from paradise where they did not have to work for anything, where they did not have to struggle for anything. Inna laka alla tajua fiha wa la ta'ara wa inna laka la tazma'u fiha wa la tadha. As at the time they were taken to the paradise, they were addressed by the Almighty Allah. They were told vividly that here you are being guaranteed that you will never ever suffer hunger. You will never ever go hungry. Inna laka alla tajua fiha wa la ta'ara. Nor would you ever go naked. Wa inna laka la tazma'u fiha wa la tadha. And you are further guaranteed that you will never ever go thirsty here in paradise. Nor would you ever toil for anything. Whatever you want, it will be abundantly granted the way you want it. But much more than you want. Yet here is quite different. That is why an angel was sent down here to teach them how to survive, how to grow what they would eat. In fact, even the seeds that they will grow were brought down by an angel to them, in fact by Angel Gabriel. And he was the one that taught them how to go about farming, how to grow whatever they wanted to eat, and so on and so forth. And they were told how to, in fact, the Almighty Allah narrated to us the first pregnancy they had. And they were so terribly shaken. In fact, they were so much worried because it happened to be the first pregnancy. And that's why they were so much worried. They did not know why the tummy, Adam didn't know why the tummy of his wife was growing out of proportion. He didn't know what that meant. So they were all praying. They didn't know what was about to happen. They were praying, may the Almighty Allah give them, if it is a child, may the Almighty Allah give them a very nice child, a very obedient one, a righteous servant. فَلَمَّا تَغَشَّاهَا حَمَلَتْ حَمْلًا خَفِيفًا فَمَرَّتْ بِهِ فَلَمَّا أَثْقَلَتْ دَعَوَا اللَّهَ رَبَّهُمَا لَئِنْ آتَيْتَنَا صَالِحًا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الشَّاكِرِينَ. When he had an affair with his wife, she conceived and became pregnant. Having conceived a child, then naturally her tummy was growing and they were worried. So as she was passing around in the house where they lived, whenever he saw her, he used to cry and pray to the Almighty Allah. She too will cry and pray along with him. The two of them were crying to the Almighty Allah, praying. Da'awa Allah. They prayed to the Almighty Allah. لَإِنْ آتَيْتَنَا صَالِحًا, O our Lord, if you grant us a righteous child, صالحًا أي ولدا صالحًا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الشَّاكِرِينَ, we promise you that will be among the grateful servants. We will show our gratitude and appreciation to you. Although some scholars of tafsir maintain that prior to that pregnancy, she had some few cases of miscarriage. That is why the devil used that opportunity. As soon as she put to bed, he came to advise them that the reason why earlier pregnancies, the reason why they did not realize anything out of the earlier pregnancies was that they did not take his advice. Now he will advise them the good name that they will give to the child. They asked him what kind of name, although he came in a form of an old man advising them. So the name that you should call him Abdul Harith. At that time, scholars of Tafsir, some of them claim that Harith happened to be one of the devilish names, one of his own names, meaning that the child should be named as his own servant. And when they named him that name, he too died. As they cried to the Almighty Allah, then the Almighty Allah gave them, started giving them children. That is, every pregnancy they will have in every pregnancy they will have a set of twins. That's Eve will give birth to a set of twins in every pregnancy, at the end of every pregnancy. So that is how they came about giving birth to Habil and Qabil. And they grew up. The Almighty Allah narrated to us the story of Habil and Qabil in the chapter of Surah Al-Ma'idah, why he said, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Watlu alayhim naba abnai Adam bil haqqi iz qarraba qurbanan fatuqbila min ahadihima wa lam yutaqabbal min al-akhar. قال لأقتلنك قال إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين." The Almighty Allah said to our dear Prophet, recite to them the story of the two sons of Adam when they brought forward their sacrificial offerings. What led to making such offerings? Why? That is why one of the basic requirements, one of the fundamental requirements for Islam, for Quranic exposition or Quranic exegesis, is that an exegete must be very expert in Islamic history. Without him acquiring sufficient knowledge of history, he can't interpret these verses accurately, because he needed to narrate the story of the two sons of Adam, what brought about the crisis, what led to the fact that they were required to make sacrificial offerings, and whose sacrifice was accepted, whose offering was accepted, and whose was rejected, and so on and so forth. So the story is that Adam used to have his children in twins form, that is, a set of twins. Each set of twins is consisted of a male child and a female child. So the only way marriage can be conducted in those days was that the female child of the first set of twins, for example, should be married to the male child of the first set of twins, for example, should be married to the female of the second set of twins, and vice versa. You can see, instead of, because there was, as at that time, there was no any household from which the son of Adam can marry. The only way marriage can be conducted in that narrow society, or that is that singular family of human beings, the only way is to marry the male child of the first set of twins to the female child of the second set of twins, and vice versa. And the Almighty Allah, because He told us unequivocally in quite a number of passages of the Holy Quran that the purpose of bringing us to the world is to test us. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة الله لنبلوكم. We created life and death for the purpose of testing you. We brought you, in fact, we created whatever you can see on the surface of the earth for the purpose of testing you. Life has no purpose apart from test. So because he wanted to test them, the twin sister of Qabil was more beautiful. She was extremely beautiful. While the twin sister of Habil, who was supposed to be the wife of Qabil, was just plain. She was not beautiful. She can in no way be compared with the twin sister of Qabil, who was supposed to be the wife of Habil, going by the marital laws of those days, matrimonial laws of those days. So when this was explained to them, that was how the marriage would be conducted. The twin sister of Qabil, who happened to be the most beautiful, would be married to Habil, and the twin sister of Habil, who was not beautiful, will be married to Qabil. What was their response? Of course, Habil accepted. No one will reject a beautiful woman for a wife, more especially if it is a divine order. And Qabil rejected and said, no, he can't marry an ugly woman. He can't have an ugly woman for a wife. No one will stop him from marrying his twin sister since she's more beautiful. So what is the way out? Adam tried in vain to convince Qabil that this is a divine law that must be obeyed. That he must succumb to the divine order. He said no. He felt that only because Adam preferred Habil, that's why he chose the most beautiful woman for him. And because he hates him, that's why he hated him, that's why he chose the ugly one for him as a wife. Adam said, well, since you insisted, then the Almighty Allah demands from both of you to make sacrificial offering. Whosever offering is accepted will be the one that will marry the most beautiful woman. And whosever offering is rejected will have the lesser beautiful woman. And the occupation of Qabil was hunting. It was farming. Qabil was a farmer by profession, while Habil was a cattle rearer. So Habil went and brought some part of his farm produce and brought forward as an offering something of inferior quality out of what he produced from his farm. He didn't even care to bring something tangible, something that is substantial. He brought something that is of inferior quality as his offering. For him, this offering that he considered as a game will not determine what he will do. Anyway, he just brought forward the offering that he was requested to bring. And for Habil, he chose the best of his rams. That in his cattle, he chose the best ram of his cattle and brought it forward as sacrificial offering, waiting for the divine judgment That is, the judgment will be in the form of acceptance or rejection of either of the two. That is, whosoever offering is accepted, that means that he is being proven right. And whosoever offering is rejected is proven wrong. And that is how the dispute will be settled. And the way and manner the acceptance will take place is that a fire will be sent down from heaven to consume the offering of whosoever offering is accepted. That is the nature of acceptance. Whosoever offering is consumed by the fire coming down from heaven, that means he is accepted by God. And that is how the fire was sent down from heaven to consume the offering made by Habil. That is, the ram was taken up to the heaven by the fire. While that of Qabil was rejected. So, you can see the judgment is clear. It's purely divine, where Adam had no hand in it. But what was the response of Qabil, whose offering was rejected? Instead of him to accept the divine judgment the way it came, then he responded by saying, قَالَ لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ, I swear by the Almighty Allah, I will kill you. And what was the response of his brother to this threat? He said, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. You can't hold me responsible for the rejection of your offering at all. You are not being fair to me. It is the Almighty Allah that decides whose offering he would accept and whose offering he will reject. And the bottom line, what determines either acceptance or rejection of anyone's offering is piety, taqwa. إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. The Almighty Allah accepts only from those who fear Him. Those who are God-fearing are the only ones that will have their offerings accepted. إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. And with regard to your threat that you have issued to me, let me tell you, لَإِن بَسَطْتَ إِلَيَّ يَدَكَ لِتَقْتُلَنِي مَا أَنَا بِبَاسِطٍ يَدِي إِلَيْكَ لِأَقْتُلَكَ. Why? إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Let me tell you, in clear terms, if you extend your hand towards me with the intention of killing me, I will never ever extend out my hand in an attempt to kill you. I will never do that. Not that I'm not strong enough. No, far from it. Inni akhafu Allah Rabbal Alamin. I will avoid killing you only because I fear my Lord. I fear Allah, the Lord of the universe. And that's all. Not that I don't have the strength, the physical strength, or what it takes to kill you. No. It is only because I fear the Lord of the universe. And another thing that will stop me from responding or retaliating or engaging you in a fight or killing you, another factor is that إِنِّي أُرِيدُ أَن تَبُوءَ بِإِثْمِي وَإِثْمِكَ فَتَكُونَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ النَّارِ وَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الظَّالِمِينَ. My intention is that if you succeed in carrying out your threat, that if you succeed in killing me, that means that you have automatically taken off all my sins and added them to yours. And that means that you are going to take the burden of all my sins and add that burden to yours, and go and get burned in the hellfire for my sins and yours. فَتَكُونَ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ النَّارِ. The Almighty Allah said, وَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الظَّالِمِينَ. And I have approved of this. From now going forward, whoever kills anyone, then will take on the burden of the sins of his victim and get burned on his behalf in the hellfire. He will add the sins of his victim to his own sins and get burned for both the sins in the hellfire. وَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الظَّالِمِينَ بِمَعْنَى جَزَاءُ الْقَاتِلِينَ. Then فَأَوَّأَتْ لَهُ نَفْسُهُ قَتْلَ أَخِيهِ فَقَتَلَهُ فَأَصْبَحَ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. The Almighty Allah said, then his heart subdued him and took control over him. Subdued him to commit murder, that is to kill his brother. He committed what we call fratricide, that is someone killing his own brother. His heart subdued him to commit fratricide. He killed his brother. فَقَتَلَهُ فَأَصْبَحَ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And then he found himself among the losers, those who have lost themselves and gain a return, perpetual chastisement and perpetual punishment. May the Almighty Allah protect us from this. We are going to stop here, inshallah. In the next session, we are going to continue exactly where we stopped. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدر الدار العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.